Sometimes things are difficult to do, like saying no to the snooze button and yes to 30 to 60 minutes of exercise. I'll just eat one more cookie, you reason, then eat 3 to 5 more. Maybe you're a spender who just has to buy the latest thing on sale even though you don't need it. Either way, you know what you need to overcome this: self-discipline. A lot of people look up to the elite teams like the Navy SEALs or Rangers or even the Spartans. Numerous movies and TV shows showcase their immense self-discipline, like the incredible story of the lone survivor who got shot numerous times, chose to fall down a mountain with his team, battered, bruised, and literally broken, kept going and fought against the Taliban who outnumbered them exceedingly. Or maybe the strength and fortitude of Spartans and Greeks who stood as 7,000 against the might of the Persians, 150,000 to 300,000, and then chose to make one final last stand to halt their entrance into Greece. So what made these soldiers hold such tremendous self-discipline and willpower? Let's start with the Spartans. Sparta was the military powerhouse of Greece, and they were strong, rigorous people. Their sons leave their homes to start their military training at the age of 7 and follow the Agoge system, or the upbringing. This system was centered on endurance, self-control, courage, and obedience. They were taught in warfare, fighting, sports, and that fear is for the weak. They endured hunger and thirst to encourage self-discipline, because in war, you wouldn't always have food or drink readily available. They were also encouraged to steal, to improve stealth, which was only a crime if they got caught. Furthermore, they had to quite literally make their own beds by finding resources to craft one. They were also only given one main piece of clothing, a red cloak, and this was to ensure that they'd be able to handle extreme weather conditions. Fighting and calisthenics were a regular part of life as a Spartan in training. And though this system can be viewed as extreme, you must understand that their times were simply different, where invasions and wars were a common occurrence. This fact made the regime necessary in order to protect Greece. Despite this difference in times, you can learn a lot about what it takes to strengthen your self-discipline through the Spartan upbringing. Fast forward to the modern similitude to the Spartans being the elite special forces, where you must be obedient to upper authority commands. The screening to even begin special forces training can only be summed up as brutal, like enduring Hell Week to become a Navy SEAL, a grueling experience made to push you to mental limits, physical exhaustion, perform without sleep for days, endure near-death situations, be a team player, and often people only have 3 outcomes: either quit, succumb to their injuries, which typically are pneumonia or breaks in bones, or outlast. This whole process is designed to ensure no matter what the situation may bring, they will endure and keep pushing towards the success of their team and mission. The Special Forces training is designed to literally break even the toughest of soldiers, with only a measly 15% of the candidates completing the journey. This also doesn't mention the initial joining of the military, which you must pass the branches regime and then go through advanced training requirements, a process that can take anywhere from 3 years to never happening. Toughness is summed up in the book as being highly adaptable to heat, cold, pain, and stress. This level of self-discipline is achieved thanks to the wonderful adaptability of the human body and working on one's own mental, physical, and emotional strength. You don't give up because you know what's possible. Ryan pointed out that we live in a world of softies who often get offended over every little thing, who can't endure, and have very weak minds. However, you don't need to go to the levels mentioned above because you are simply a civilian looking to work on self-discipline. The psychology of self-discipline. This is not an easy path and will take a lot of effort on your part. You're probably familiar with the marshmallow test, where you are offered a marshmallow or something greater if you choose not to eat the marshmallow within a certain time frame, say 15 minutes, a study on willpower and delayed self-gratification, which Ryan links to being the key to a successful life. Willpower gives us self-discipline. This is your power within to say no to temptations, to force yourself to get up early and go to work, to choose to keep running on the treadmill. How do we harness this, and what makes one person stronger than another? I'll sum it up as to be your why behind what you're doing. First thing you need to do is know your motivation and set a clear goal. This is like the Spartans who want to become worthy to their people and gain citizenship. and the Special Forces are motivated to become one of the elite and play a strong role in world conflict. Examples of some of these goals would be like, hey, I want to achieve financial freedom so I never need to work again, or provide an exceptional life for my family, or I just simply want to look good and feel good, or maybe even simply being able to say no to certain things. Next, you must monitor your behaviors to these goals. You can't just kind of want it, you must want it bad enough to endure challenges and setbacks that may come. Your behavior shouldn't change lest you lose why you're doing what you are doing. And lastly, we have willpower that leads to self-discipline. You must utilize willpower to overcome obstacles when pursuing your goals and saying no to things that'll get in your way. Another way to look at this is trade-offs. What must you give up in order to achieve your goals? The limited willpower energy model. There's a theory that goes over willpower as being a limited resource to which we will be able to say no to certain things, and this is why we are prone to falling into temptation. Our willpower suffers from fatigue after being used, and just like an ordinary muscle, will be strengthened through exercise. This means you must keep using it again and again to gain more self-discipline. A study to showcase willpower being limited. There was 2 groups that were given radishes and cookies. However, one group was asked to eat only radishes and the other the cookies. They then were both given a puzzle, and the group who ate the cookies were able to work longer on the puzzle, while those who ate the radishes and had to say no to the cookies didn't have as much willpower to stay working on the puzzle. Here's some clear structure from the book to build more self-discipline. Number 1, you need a clear why or goal. This is your fuel. You must know why you are doing something, and it must be compelling enough to keep pushing towards through thick and thin. Number 2, accountability to yourself and or having an accountability partner. A way to be self-accountable is by rewarding yourself for accomplishing things, and if you don't, well, withhold those rewards or choose to work a bit longer to accomplish the thing that you set forth. You can accomplish a lot with a person holding you accountable, like a coach or fellow coworker that will check in with your progress. Number 3, set high personal standards. If you set high standards for yourself, you will not settle for things, increasing your self-discipline. An example is finishing major tasks before lunch instead of at the end of the day. These standards are the cornerstone of self-discipline. Number 4, competitive environment. Competing against oneself or others has always led to the best performance, whether that's in day-to-day life or war. You can also choose to compete against yourself or against another person. This is additional fuel that'll help you push yourself to greater heights. Number 5, supportive environment. An example is like certain rooms in a house that support an activity, like a bedroom for sleeping, a workout room for working out, an office to work in, or a dining room to dine in. Each environment supports the action. Number 6, know yourself, your strengths, and your weaknesses. If you always eat out because you're tired after a long day's work and do not want to spend the energy to make food, you can make plenty in advance to choose to eat leftovers instead of going out to eat. Number 7 is visualization. Visualize the positive results of achieving your goals. Some additional fuel, and visualization is very powerful in its own right. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, I know I said it, it's true, would often spend time visualizing himself shooting a basketball shot to mentally practice. It worked quite well for him, and things you visualize often materialize. Number 8, be mindful of your choices. Recognize you have the power to choose whatever in life, and all choices have a positive and a negative consequence. Number 9, finally we have make it a habit to do the hard things. Embrace the wrong feeling because that's normal to have a bad feeling at first. Our body doesn't initially like change, and this will also build more self-discipline. Choose the harder right over the easier wrong. Now in closing, knowing is half the battle and application is the other half. Work towards picking one thing that resonated with you in this video to help you become more self-disciplined. Get after it and watch yourself become greater still. Thanks for watching and have an amazing day.